Hi, my name is Lacey, and I'm the creator of the Herbal Hour. This is my first video, and for the month of May, I decided that the first plant I want to focus on are violets. This is my first year noticing them growing in my yard, so it's a pretty magical experience for me. I am of the opinion that we notice plants, or plants want to be noticed by us during important parts of our lives. My entire yard right now is filled with violets. I've been able to spend the past couple of weeks collecting quite a few of them. They're pretty small flowers, and I air dry a lot of my things. So I have about 2 jars filled of this right now, and there is no shortage of violets in my yard right now. I could pick a handful more of these jars, and there would still be plenty. So, violets. Roses are red, violets are blue, right? That's like a really well-known start to a poem or most Valentine's cards. In doing research of the violets, I learned that they kind of are the original Valentine's flora. We know about roses, right? You'll get a dozen of roses handed to you on Valentine's Day, or you might see it happen, especially in movies or books. But violets, prior to the 1930s, violets were the more popular Valentine's flower. It's said that Saint Valentine himself had crushed up the violet petals, wrote on violet leaves, and passed those notes out. So after about the 1930s, we see that roses get a little bit more popular, but violets never really completely disappeared. In the 1800s and early 1900s, they were foraged heavily for candies. You can make delicious candied violets. They were also popular during the wartime. They are a symbol of devotion, love, kindness, right? All of the sort of well-known symbology tied to roses can also be directly linked back to violets. I think, a little bit more fascinating thing about violets when we do compare them to roses is that they're modest. They're very humble, modest flora. When you go out looking for violets, and if you look online at them, you will see that, as they're coming out of the ground, couple inches tall, very small flower, right? And then when they're first coming up, of course they don't come up that tall. First they're going to come up this tall. And before they even come up this tall, and I don't have a smaller one here with stems on it, but you can imagine the bud. Now this one has no stem on it. The bud. They are extremely shy. They're extremely devoted to what they do. I want to talk about their seeds a little bit because I find this fascinating as well. Violets have 2 ways to seed. They can be pollinated by the bees, which bees absolutely love violets. They can be pollinated that way. And then also at the end of their life cycle, they will hang their head. They will create a seed, but then that seed is going to go directly into the ground below it. And that's going to kind of confirm, secure reseeding. All right, so moving forward from here, I'm going to tell you a couple uses for violets. They are edible, they are medicinal, and they are beautiful to craft with. As far as edibility goes, you want to make sure that you have the violet. They have 5 petals. They are often blue and white, but they vary a lot. Then let me see if I can focus here. You can sort of see maybe the way that the flower head looks as it's connecting. Right? And then they'll have some heart-shaped leaves, which I didn't actually collect, so I'm kind of turning my back around here to see if, yep, right here's some. Sorry, excuse me. Violet leaves. You'll find these growing sort of in bunches around the yard. They'll look like this kind of coming up, but they're heart-shaped. It's riddled with symbolism, right? All right. So eating violets, you can eat the flower, the whole part of it. You can eat the stems, and you can eat the leaves. These make an extremely pretty salad. It makes a wonderful addition just as toppings to a more traditional salad. I don't have measurements of vitamins and nutrients that you can receive from this, but I have heard that the amount of vitamin C that you can get within a serving of violet leaves is well over the amount that you can get from an orange. Please do your own research. Please identify and be well aware of what you're doing as you're doing it. But the nutritional benefits of violets are very well worth looking into. We can also talk about violet energetically, like symbolically. We can make teas with it too. And oftentimes, the tea is known to lift the mood a little bit of joy added to your day. And a magical thing that happens with the violet tea is the hot water will actually turn blue as you're making your tea. And add a squeeze of lemon into it, alchemy, and all of a sudden your magical blue drink gets this gorgeous magical purple color to it. Try it. It's amazing. All right, and while I have you here with me, I thought it would be a wonderful idea to kind of show you another cute crafty thing that you can do with violets. It's flower pressing. It's very simple. You can do something like this to make cards to send to loved ones, or to decorate any kind of craft really with. But we're gonna do a little bit of that together here. All right, so what I did was I got some parchment paper. This helps to keep the flowers from really sticking too much to whatever to whatever paper you're using. I'm gonna open the book up halfway. Keep it kind of prepped a little bit like this. After you've gathered your flowers, you want them to be relatively dry. You may rinse them, but after they're rinsed, just kind of make sure that you've dried them pretty well too. So then I'm going to lay all my flowers kind of face down here. It'll help them press a little bit. And I'm giving each one enough room to press, to spread out where they're not touching each other either. I'm just going to go ahead and get my flowers laid down here. And then I'm also going to throw, you can do this as well, feel free. Get to know the flora in your yard. I'm also going to add fleabane onto mine here to dry. I'm going to be making a card for a loved one, so I'm just going to kind of put everything I need on here right away. We can do that together. Both fleabane and violets are Pennsylvania natives. I am a Pennsylvanian. My focus this season is getting to know the native plants a little bit more, and this is one way that I'm doing that. All right, so I've kind of started to get my paper filled up here a little bit. Make sure I've got some room for everything. All right, maybe we'll throw a leaf in there, huh? All right, let's see if I can close this carefully. I want to kind of press it down just a little bit. And then close the book as well. Give it a little push. Make sure they're pressed nice and firm, nice and flat. You don't want too much air getting in there. And then I'm also, excuse me while I move my camera just a bit, I'll show you guys books on books on books. All right, and then excuse me. All right, and then you're going to let this sit like this for about 2 weeks. That will ensure that your flowers are dry. So if you're planning to start a project like this for a loved one where you want to include fresh pressed flowers, expect to start the project about 2 weeks before you need to give You will need to start the project about 2 weeks before you need to give the cards to your loved one, because you'll need to make sure that there's enough time for the flowers to dry. Once they are dry, right, I will show you again once they kind of look like, if I can do that. Yeah, these aren't secured down in any way, but they're just to kind of give you an idea of what they look like. They're absolutely beautiful. I'll probably do a panning shot afterwards from above so you guys can see them better. All right, and here I have some cardstock or whatever. You can pick this up for relatively cheap at your local store, a craft store. And then when you're ready, you'll just place your plants however you might like to see them arranged. Right? And then you can add a little bit of glue or a very small piece of tape. All right, and then your project is finished. Thank you for coming to meet Violet with me. I hope you guys enjoyed your time here and enjoy going out to meet all of the local flora that are just waiting to meet you.